Hello, second grade families. I'm here today to talk you through our Emu Art Project that came home in your learning packet. And you'll see here I have the direction sheet in front of me. And all you need for this activity is crayons or colored pencils. I used our twistables that we have in our classrooms. You could use any kind of colored pencil or crayon that works for you. And the next thing that you're going to need, you'll see these cute emus. And I love this project because they all turn out so very different. So before we start, I also want to remind you that art can be messy, art is imperfect, and in fact, that actually makes your project turn out even better. So go easy on yourself. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine. In fact, the lines you draw are going to be uniquely yours, and so embrace it. Love that art, okay? Here's what we're gonna do first. We're gonna follow the steps. We're gonna color in the eyes and the beak. And I kind of think through my pattern a little bit before I get started. So I'm kind of thinking of colors that I think kind of go really nicely together. So I'm going to use orange for the beak, and then I'm going to, for my emu, I think I'm going to use this kind of pretty turquoisey blue color, and then maybe pioneer purple, and I think maybe a red. And I don't know, I might hold off. I might use some green too, but we'll see. These are going to be the colors that I start with. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to very carefully make sure my twistables rolled up, and like artists do, I'm going to start coloring in. And in the beak and the eyes, I'm kind of doing this a little bit darker. Then I'm going to do the wispy strokes when I do the emu's hair, okay? So, and you'll also notice that it helps when you're coloring to color all one direction. That gives it that nice, smooth, deep, rich line as you color in. But if you don't want it to be dark like mine, you could do it soft. It's all up to you and how much pressure you put on that colored pencil or crayon. And then I'm going to go back and really make sure I have some good solid lines. And then of course you can brush it off a little bit if you don't like quite how it turned out. All right, then I'm going to decide what color do I want the eyes. And I really like this blue, so I'm going to use a blue for the inside of his eyes. And that just gives it a little bit of depth and a little bit of color. And again, I'm trying to color all one direction. And of course, I want to make sure that I'm filling in all the white space, so none of that white is showing through. And the eyes and the beak are already drawn for you, and so you just have to do the coloring in. The fun part's going to come in when we get to create that wispy fun hair on the emu's head, which is about where I'm at. All right, so now if I look back to my direction sheet, I decide on the colors and the pattern that I want for the head. And I'm going to be doing some really long strokes to make the hair look really wispy. And you'll see right here between his eyes, this is going to kind of be like where the strokes are going to start and come out from here, because you kind of want it to look like it's erupting, kind of like almost like a firework, kind of like our crayon fireworks. I'm going to start with our pioneer purple. And here's where you just get to be creative and have a little fun, okay? And I'm going to start right here, and I'm just going to do some fun wispy lines. And I'm just kind of coming out, and then I notice, oh, I didn't quite go up high enough. So I'm going to keep adding some more wisps. And you'll see that it just kind of comes right down to like where the bridge of his nose would go. And then I'm going to go kind of to the side and do some more fun wispy strokes this way. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Now right now, he kind of has not a full round head yet. So I'm going to keep coming around, but this time I think I'm going to fill in. I'm going to switch colors, and I'm going to do some red. So it just kind of gives it a little bit of variegation in that color. And then I'm going to put a little red here and do some wisps here. Just kind of coming around to make that rounded shape on my emu's head. And you might want to blend a little bit in, maybe add a little red to your purple. Just be creative and play with it. And then I'm going to come around here and make the bottom part of his head kind of wisp this way. So now I have kind of, and I'm going to go back to purple here, and I'm just playing with these long wispy lines to kind of make his rounded head shape, okay? And then thinking about an emu, he's got this kind of rounded, wispy headed feathers coming out, and I can just keep going. I caution you though, don't get too carried away. You know, my magic art rule in 2nd grade is always keep it simple. The more you add, the crazier it gets, and you might lose that wispy look. And then I noticed I kind of missed a few spots around his beak, so I'm going in to fill it in like that. And then you might want to brush off your extra and a little bits there that kind of are there. And you've got this super cute head to go with your emu. Now, I realized I did blue for the eyes, so you might want to go back and add in just a few of that color that you used for the eyes to kind of tie it all together. And now we're done with that circular shape for his head. Your next step is you're going to do long strokes for the emu's body. And to do this, I just kind of kept my red, I'll stick with that one, and I'm just doing those wispy lines, but I'm going straight down my page to make it look like his long neck. And see my wispy lines kind of come out so that he has that neck that then goes into the round shape of his head. Then I'm going to take my purple just like I did before, add a few more wisps to get that pattern that I like. And just to tie in that eye color again, I'm going to add a few more blue wisps down. And what do you know? I have a beautiful emu art to share. You can experiment and play with lots of different colors and patterns. This one was purple, red, and blue. I also did one a little earlier, and this one I used pink and green, and I again tied in that green to the eyes. Have fun, play. Remember, art isn't perfect. Enjoy this Emu Art Project, and your teachers cannot wait to see the creativity that you come up with.